Yo. What's going on, Vince?
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good morning. We're doing well over here at the Adelmans.
Everybody good?
Very.
Good. Good. We'll get going here in just a second. Wait for some folks to come online, and we try and get this thing rocking and rolling. Everybody got their cup of coffee? Tea? Beer? Vodka? Wine?
Vodka. It's on my food plan. I saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's on my recovery plan. Shannon, how we doing this morning?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Good workout last night, huh?
Not bad. That C1 is just so easily aggravated, though. I don't know what to do about it.
Well, it's going to be consistency. It's going to be, honestly, I just put it out there. Consistency of workouts, consistency of food plan. It's just, and it's going to be finding that intensity level that allows you to attain the goals that you want to attain.
Well, thank you. But what does that have to do with my C1?
Well, the best way I could put this, the more you can lighten up the tension and the load on the body, the less stress you have on the body. The best example I can give you, when I'm 265 pounds, my L4, my L5 screams every minute of day and night. When I'm 239, 240 pounds, I don't even feel it. And honestly, I probably need to be about 220 pounds. That's just the way the law of gravity works.
We'd miss you.
Well, it's just the way the law of gravity works. When you really look at the stresses that go into the tendons, the ligaments, and the joints, and then the loads, and I say loads that we put on it. I don't care if it's walking, running, eating, drinking. I don't care. The amount of inflammation that we cause in the body and what it does to the joints. I was just talking to somebody in the gym about that last night or yesterday, that it just is, inflammation's a horrible thing. And we get it from everywhere. We get it from stress. We get it from the foods we eat that we shouldn't eat. We get it from the lack of sleep. We get it from everywhere. So the more you tighten those things up, I'm going to change my chair out. The more you tighten those things up, the better the body feels. And it's not just my back. It could be my Achilles tendon. The more weight I have on my body, the more those things hurt, and the more my past injuries hurt. So it's not a good thing. It's bad. And the young guys don't understand it. The younger people don't understand it. I watch where some of our coaches are now, and I watch other people train, and I just think to myself, oh boy, I could see it 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I could see what that body's going to feel like, just because, I've been there and you've been there. Time, the body doesn't it doesn't go from 0 to 60, and at 60 years old you feel like you're 20. It just doesn't happen that way. It's that slow breakdown, and everything we do every day to enhance that is so much better for you, for it. So I think it's more important as we age to do better than it is as we're younger, and that's debatable, because when you're younger you set the foundation, but it's better when you're older to really take care of it, because I was telling somebody again the other day, you only get one shot at this body, and how you choose to do it will be up to you. Well, I'm going to get cracking. We had a good week. We had a really good week. Little updates. What I'm asking people to do, and I wish more people would get onto these calls, because there is some critical information. So what I'm telling my classes is this. We have the new app now, and you sign in for your class. And if you're signing in for your class, that's great, because it does a few things. One, based upon our guidelines, we can only have 12 people in the building in a class right now. So that's good. Now, do we ever have 12? Some classes we do, not most of them. So it's really nice. Some of the classes are really small and they're perfect for what's going on in our world today. The second thing is the coaches have a great idea who's coming in. They know how to modify. They know what's going on with that person, instead of somebody just showing up and now you have to hope you can really come up with something good. You already know ahead of time. So that's a great thing. And then number three, by having the class size the way it is, it allows people to kind of move around a little bit. Like, let's say somebody wants to come in at 6 o'clock one morning, but they want to come in at 8 o'clock the next morning because they're off or whatever. It allows them that flexibility to do that. What we're seeing now is we're seeing people sign up for classes and not show up for classes. Well, I kind of get it. Right now, I'm going to be patient. I know the team doesn't always want me to be patient, but I have to be patient. We need a little grace period here. That grace period is people getting used to the app, people getting used to signing up for the class, and people kind of understanding how that app works, which is by nature. If I can kind of navigate it, by God, I think anybody can navigate it. So having said that, we're having people sign up and not show up. Not a lot, but a few. So what we're asking people to do is, if you can't make your class time, just cancel out of that class time. You can still make another class time. But what it does is it allows people to reserve off the waiting list to come into that spot. So that's really important. Good morning, Emery. What I'm telling people is that to sign, when you say, I'm talking about the app and signing up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a grace period here, and Gabe and I will talk it over, Susan. But at some point, if you sign up for a class, you don't show up for that class, and you didn't cancel that class, at some point we're going to charge you for that class. So if somebody sees we'll put a notice out that says, beginning this month, if you sign up and you don't show up, then we're going to charge you $25 for the class. It's just it's principle, it's respect. And it's respect for other people more than anything. And we're giving people plenty of notice. I feel comfortable doing that. I don't care what other places do, but we're a little bit more disciplined than other places, and we would expect that people want a higher level of training here. So that's what's going to happen down the line. We will announce it before it happens. I don't want people to say they didn't hear it. They had plenty of opportunity. It'll go out in an email. They had plenty of opportunity to be on this Zoom call. The purpose of this Zoom call here is to kind of help people navigate through the tough times, the pitfalls, if you will, of what they're experiencing going through their not so much their life, but life and workout all combine into one thing. So it helps people to find some solutions. And then really the solutions come from the mistakes, at least for me, that I've made and the things that I go through. So we get to share those, and, the coaches, it's the same thing. It's no different. They share their ideas and their wisdom and their time doing this type of stuff. The other thing is to educate, is to kind of tell people what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the purpose for doing it. I still know there's people who come into the gym and they will tell you they don't like something. Well, they don't like something because they don't understand what it's doing. And that's what a lot of people do. They go to the gyms and, they do a bench press, or they do I don't know many people who really stay at home and go, yeah, I crushed a squat workout today. I always hear about the upper body workouts. I very rarely hear about the lower body workouts. And lower body workouts are tough, whether they're bilateral, 2 feet on the ground, or unilateral, 1 foot on the ground. They're very tough. And so I always hear people do the upper body stuff. I never hear the lower body stuff. So a lot of these Zoom calls are to educate people why we're doing this stuff, why we do unilateral work instead of and bilateral work, why we combine them together, why one's better than the other, why running as opposed to lifting, or lifting as opposed to running. So, I really wish that people would take more interest in educating themselves on what they're doing and why they're doing it. And it's great to have a coach there so they can see what and make the corrections. But I don't know why people don't take more advantage of the offering, if you will. And, people can't tell me they're busy at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I mean, 1 or 2 people here or there, I could see it. But to get what they can get out of this and then do a workout afterward, knowing what you're doing, to me, that's the gold nugget. So anyway, good week. The facility is great. It's clean. It's wonderful. A lot of things are opening up, starting to open up a little bit. I know in El Dorado County, they're still pushing. I have not heard whether they got the approval for the attestation to move completely into phase 3. But I do know that gyms are open, and I don't know how many are. I can tell you that a lot of the Fit 36 places, and there's 2 of them, there's one in Folsom and there's one in Rockland, they are not reopening. Some places have not made it through this mess, if you will, and I'll just call it a mess because it is. Fortunate with our members and our facility and some great shuffling around, we were able to reopen. We had a good turnabout of people coming back, and there are still some people who are very still cautious. I don't know how to lower that level of anxiety. I think some of it's anxiety. I think some of it is, well, I just feel more comfortable staying at home, and that's going to get old real soon. There's a sense there's a lot to be said for a sense of community. There's a lot to be said for a sense of socialization, as long as it's done safely. And so getting back in the gym is one way to do that. I've never seen so many more happy faces in the past week than I have seen. Just to be in and out amongst a smaller crowd, and knowing that the proprietors have made it safe for people to be there. So we're going to be in this phase, guys, for a while, of this social distancing, of the sanitizing frequently. You walk into the gym, you can clearly smell it. It smells more like a Lysol bottle and a ammonia bottle and an alcohol bottle combined than it does a locker room, if you will, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I think they just haven't confirmed yet, but they reached out again, the Board of Supervisors, two of them, and the Public Health Administrative Director want to tentatively come out this Tuesday. I encouraged them to come out wholeheartedly, come see what we've done, how we've done, why we've done, and even including down to the written procedure for this whole COVID-19. So there is a written procedure. I sent that procedure out to all the coaches. We will go over that this week now that I have the written procedure done. And we'll fine tune things. So it's, to me, it's kind of a cool thing to do. Susan, I know you're on. Do you have any updates on the app that you would like to, or anything you want to relay to the crowd?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going great. I love it. It keeps people organized. I love that the coaches get to go out and greet everybody before they come in. It just kind of gives them a few minutes of, hey, how's it going? Instead of everybody, staggering in the gym and, coaches, get on your machines. It's just really nice. It just seems peaceful and organized. And so I like that. I will be shutting down the website to make some adjustments in July. So July, you will not be able to schedule anything in July. Wednesday, I'm going to just focus and get that done. So I would suggest not signing up for July because you may lose your spot. But I'm going to be opening up, especially for the athletes, and that's where the problem is in the afternoon. It's not a problem; it's just an adjustment. So live and learn, and this is all new to all of us. So we want to make it as best as we can. So that's what I'll be doing on Wednesday. So just so everybody knows, which is 2 members.
Susan, could you put an email out on that, please?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm going to send it out on Monday. Another thing that we need to be doing is everybody will be filling out a new waiver. I want to get that out on Monday as well. I'll probably attach it to the same email because we did have to include COVID-19 in there. And it's just good to update everybody anyways. If anybody has any questions.
That's also part of the requirements, guys. We had to go back to our waivers, and we had to include not just COVID-19, but really any pandemics was part of what was suggested for us to do. So I found it critical. I think we need to do that.
Yeah, anybody have any questions for me?
Coaches, you guys got any questions on that? Coaches that are on? Anne-Marie, any questions on that?
Susan mentioned she was going to work on the athletes program. I did try to get Kaden to sign up for next week, and it said too early to sign up. Is that what she's talking about? Sort of so that I can prepare for the week. I've signed up for the classes, but Kaden told me last night he was at his dad's that he couldn't do that on the app. Sign up for next week.
I haven't heard that one.
Okay.
So I don't know why.
And toward the end here, I'll check the phone and see, but I believe we already have people signed up.
Do you know what time he wanted to come in? I can look real quick right now.
Well, that was a special situation as well because I have a new job. We're going to sign up for the 6:30 time slot, all for the next 2 weeks. And I think that athletes were only allowed to go to the 6 o'clock, but I kind of talked to Craigie was going to talk to Vince about if Kate and I can make that last slot.
6:30 in the evening?
Yeah, just because I'm getting off at.
That's no problem. 6:30 in the evening's fine.
So then I signed myself up. That worked out no problem. But then, like I said, I texted Caden. I said, get this done. And he said, no, it's telling me I cannot sign up in advance.
So that's the 6:30 on Monday?
On Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, I want you to try to do it and see what happens.
I did under his account.
Under his name, yeah. Just try. I'm just curious. You know,
Sure.
this is a learning curve for all of us, including myself. So I just want to see if you'll be able to do it.
Okay, I know that I looked just for me on my end. I looked and I went into the athletes, and it doesn't offer a 6:30 time.
Right. So you'll go in under the adult program and put his name.
Okay,
Maybe that's why it wouldn't take it, is because we don't have a 6:30 youth athlete program.
maybe, yeah.
But I don't know why it would give you that answer, because that's incorrect. It's not like you can't enroll. It's too early to enroll. It's more like there's no class for that age. So since we're making an exception, then you would sign him up in the adult program. So give that a try.
Yeah, I
And,
asked.
and then just send me a message and let me know if it works. Or I can follow up and check myself.
Okay, no, I'll ask him what his password. I forgot what his password was. But I'll ask him and try to set that up. The other thing was.
Or
The
just
other
send him a message and have him try to put it under the adult program.
Oh, that he tried and it did not work.
Oh, okay.
It's like, nope, this is what you are and this is how you can sign up.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the first time we've ever had that problem, Susan.
Yeah.
None of the other athletes have ever had that issue. So
Yeah, that's why I'm curious. But
we'll just look at it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's probably us.
Well, you know what? A lot of times it's just a simple oversight. I mean, it may be, it may not be. You know, we're having glitches in the program. We're like any other program. There's going to be something. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we're learning as we go, and it's just making us better. I mean, I love having to troubleshoot all these things because I know that at some point we're going to know all the answers.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. And honestly, we'll also know what the program can't do. So, and then down the line, you look and say, do we have the right program? So it does a lot of different things. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Anne Marie, and I can always put him in there if I need to. So not a big deal. And also congratulations on your employment too. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Can I piggyback on that since there's only a few of us in this chat real quick? My hours will change from now they're standard 9 to 5, but they're going to change to the afternoon evenings. So I'm only going to have mornings available. And I'd like to be able to bring Caden in with me. He'll do the adult program.
Shouldn't be a problem. Should not be a problem. And as we move on, we will tailor things and loosen up as we can. You know, Gabe put out a very good email to everybody. And we're asking right now just for some cooperation the first month so that we can do what we're being asked to do by the county and by the state. We really do want to protect people. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the county as things loosen up a little bit more. I really hope people take notice and do some of the things they're supposed to do. But here, being the business owner and seeing outside what people aren't doing that they should do that are not, it's not being asked a lot of people to do, especially in our county as opposed to other counties. But being the business owner here and watching people try to circumvent what we're trying to do based upon what we're being asked to do. I got 15 pages of guidelines, and we just right now, people just have to trust that what we're asking them to do, one, protects them, 2 protects their family, 3 protects the facility and everybody in it. So, but it's funny how people try to buck, you know, what's going on based upon their belief. And we all do it, right? But I got to be honest with you, if I go to a place and they ask me to put on a mask, I got to put on a mask, right? I'm not going to buck their system. I don't have to agree with it, but God, it's funny to watch people. And you know, the overarching message here is we're doing this right now to be able to do what we do and what we love to do, which is help people, but just do it in a very safe manner. So, you know, Gabe put out a very good email last week, and I really hope people read it. I can tell you some didn't, but they have a better understanding now after I pulled them aside and had a little chat with them. And some of it is just people's frustration, so I get it, but we're all frustrated. So this app is good right now. If we find something, if we have a need to change down the road, we will. And we're trying to accommodate people as much as we can in a safe manner. So it's working out pretty well. We had a good week. We had a good week, and next week we hope to have an even better week. The staff are doing a great job. The students are doing a great job for the most part. And I'm going to piggyback into today of push-pull routines. And if you come into our facility, guys, and you're doing a workout, you'll see we mix a total body workout with push and pull routines. And there's a lot to be said for a push-pull routine. So the biggest thing about it is the simplicity of it, guys. Sometimes we get a little heavy in our unilateral work as opposed to bilateral work, or bilateral work as opposed to unilateral work. If anybody doesn't know that's online, what that is, I can briefly tell you, but I really didn't want to spend today doing that because I did a whole hour about a week ago. Unilateral works one leg on the ground, one arm. Bilateral is 2 or 2 arms. So the simplicity of a push-pull routine. They're simple, but if you do it right, guys, they're really effective because it's such a balanced workout. You know, it used to be in coming through this, not that push-pull routines are new, but there was a very traditional way of lifting. And the traditional way of lifting consisted of a chest day, a back day, shoulders, arms. And of course, I talked about before that hellacious or dreaded leg day. That's what we call traditional ways to lift, right? So by dividing your muscle groups into different lift days, although not bad, may not be the best solution for your body, because when you do that, when you do a chest day, or then you do a back day, it causes imbalances. And here's one of the biggest imbalances that you see. You ever look at a bodybuilder? Their shoulders are rounded, right? They look kind of look, if you can see, look, they kind of look like this all the time. That's an imbalance. Why? Because they've done so much chest work, but they didn't balance off the back to get the body to do that. Remember, you have these anterior muscles. You also have those posterior muscles. Those posterior muscles, when developed correctly, help to secure the body in that position. Another good example, if you see somebody who's very quad dominant in front of their legs, but they didn't take care of the posterior chain, which, by the way, at least here in the States, we really don't. I would even venture to say around the world, people don't take care of very much. They don't take care of that posterior chain. So what happens? People end up with knee and back problems. It's very simple. So it creates, for the lack of better words, an imbalance in the body that leads to injuries. So at least with a push-pull routine, you're balancing each day both sides of that body, that posterior and that anterior chain. It causes overtraining, which also lends to the imbalances. Instead, I'm suggesting, and the way Gabe does a lot of the programming with a lot of the coaches' input, is the simplicities of the push-pull routine. It addresses all your muscle groups, creates a full balanced body that helps you do what? Move better. Helps you move better. And you can do it really in a 4-day routine. You don't have to be in the gym 6 days a week, right? You only really need a 4-day schedule. So if I haven't piqued your interest yet, we're going to talk about now what one is. So what's a push? What's a pull routine? So your push workouts, guys, contracts your muscles when the weight is being pushed away from your body, meaning the work's done when the muscle contracts as you push. So the primary muscles in your push workout include muscles like your chest muscles, your triceps, your quads, your calves, your shoulders. So a good example of a push exercise, and we do them all the time, is what, guys? Push-ups. We do push-ups, but here's the deal. People never do a push-up correctly. Why? Because they don't go through the full range of motion. Squats, shoulder presses. Great examples of your push exercises. A pull workout is the exact opposite, guys. That's where the muscle contracts when the weight is being pulled toward you. So, meaning the work is done and when the muscle contracts when you pull something. The primary muscles in your pulling workout include your back muscles, your biceps, hamstrings, the obliques, which are on the outside of the abdominal here, and your traps up here. Okay. Examples of your pull exercises are, again, we do these all the time. Pull-ups, inverted rows, any back rows, one arm rows, seated cable rows, lat pull downs, deadlifts. Now here, I love to talk about the deadlift because the deadlift is it's really a double-edged sword. If you don't do it right, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay. But if you do it right, it's probably one of the best overall body strengthening exercises that there is. Because in reality, the deadlift is a push and a pull at the same time. You're pulling from the floor, but you're pushing the floor away from you with your feet. It's also the difference of a deadlift is what? It's different than your squat based upon the angles of your hips and your knees. So you really have to have really good mobility, guys, to do a deadlift properly, especially with a bar. But that's why we recommend the kettlebell. 2 kettlebells, trap bar, right? And it's also one of those exercises, most of these, that if you look at the stuff you do in your active daily living right around your house, these exercises resemble exactly what you do when you're going around your house. Going up your stairs, that's unilateral work. It's like a walking lunge, all right? When you're coming down your stairs, it's like doing a box step down. So you can really look at different exercises and see that. But again, some of your other pulling exercises, or like when we do, bent over lateral raises, or some people would call them reverse flies, and bicep curls. So some great examples there. So what are the benefits to this type of a routine? I think there's benefits to all routines as long as you're doing something. But guys, and for lack of better words here, don't half-ass your routines. Don't say, I did a curl and I did a press, and that's what I did tonight. And then don't say, well, it's better than nothing, right? No, it's not. It's just like your work day. Do you just say, well, I made one phone call today, so God, it's better than nothing? I'd really like to take a look at that business plan and see how well that's working out for you. All right. So you gotta, there's a process, there's a grind, and you have to pay attention to each one, and you have to have a pattern for each one and a routine for each one every single day. Okay. You can't give less to one than you give to the other. And to me, why would you ever give less to yourself? Why would you ever give less to yourself? So that you can give more to others. Just a question that maybe you can answer for yourself today. However, I think people need to find the program that works for them. So this is not for everyone, but it's probably one of the better ones. It's one of the better ones too if you don't have 6 days a week that you want to be in a gym working out. So I really like the push-pull routine for one of those reasons. It's less time consuming. If you guys have been in the gym now and the way the program is set up, and I got to tell you, majority of the people have said to me, Vince, I absolutely love the new routine. Absolutely love it. They're 50 minutes in, they're done, they're going home, they've had a great workout, they're a little bit sore the next day, not crazy sore the next day, and they're loving it. So if you know people who are doing it that may not be on this call, go ask them. Now, if your level of fitness isn't where you want it to be right now, then the workouts are a little bit tougher. But if you don't challenge yourself, you can't change. It's pretty simple. So for this reason, I think it's pretty spectacular, which the efficiency of the time allows you to get everything else done that you want to get done. The workout's done, and then you can do whatever you want to do during the day. I don't care if it's business meetings. I don't care if it's lunch. I don't care if it's going to the beach. I don't care if it's going to the mountain, whatever you want to do. The efficiency of the workout is crazy. I've already mentioned the next benefit, which is it creates muscle balances, guys. All right. When we divide our muscles into different days, that leads to the imbalances that I talked about before and injuries or not doing it at all. Right. So the most common is overworking, like I said before, the chest, the back, the quads, whatever. Now you get hunched shoulders, you get a T-spine that's tight, you get hip flexors that are tight, you get glute medials that are tight, and all of a sudden you're walking crooked. All right. This is just a better way to create and prevent the imbalances. It promotes the injury prevention that I just talked about. Overtraining major muscle groups is not a good thing, but it's a common thing, and it's a way to lead yourself to an injury. Okay, but by not working it is another way. So balancing it out is really cool. So balancing your push and your pull will help you to not overwork and stress your muscles, and give you plenty, which is the biggest thing here, recovery time between your workouts. And I'm going to talk about little implementation of this down the road. We do it here, and you should be doing it at home if you're still at home doing it. It increases your muscle mass in all muscle groups. A push-pull routine increases the time you spent on all of your muscle groups. Yes, that also means leg day, guys. The push-pull training that we do, or any of them, well, good ones, it enables you to train more often and burn more fat. Train more often and burn more fat. Less time in between sets raises hormonal levels, right? Especially for people who are older, as us, right? If I'm giving you 10 reps in a set, if I'm giving you 3 sets and I'm giving you 30-second rest, I guarantee you your testosterone, yes, women, you secrete a certain amount of testosterone as well, and your growth hormone will go out the roof. But if you do a very light set and you're taking 2 minutes in between set, yeah, your fitness level is probably not going to be really good. Hormonal levels are probably not going to be activated too much. And there's a lot of other hormones, but Those are just the two I'm just going to throw at you real quick. So when I talk about the push-pull routines, I'm talking about your optimal recovery time. Recovery is a cool thing, right? When we talk about recovery, I'm not just talking about from your food. I'm not just talking about your just your workouts. I'm talking about from your whole day. I'm talking about your sleep, your hydration, your stress levels. And stress levels come from everywhere. And I think that's one of our biggest components that we have to try to control. These workouts help you do that. Okay. So when you split your workout week into each body part, like I talked about before, the traditional, such as legs, back, you think that you're allowing each part to recover in between. However, you could still be indirectly using the same muscles throughout the different days, right? This means that you could still be overtraining your muscles, which can lead to what? We spoke about it before, injuries. So by splitting your workouts, by pushing and pulling movements, you won't be using the same muscle groups 2 days in a row to the extent that you use them. So some way to offset that is maybe in the early part of the week, you do your heavier work. Latter part of the week, you do light work. So we have that little active recovery. You'll be, how the best way for me to say this, you'll be training related muscle groups together and then opposing groups the next day. And I'm going to go to a little implementation here in just a little bit. But if you look at how we set our boards up, that's exactly what they're set up to do. You'll be doing opposing groups on the very next day. So if you can really look at it, you're allowing your muscles to rest in between, which will allow for the more optimal recovery time, as long as you're doing what? Sleeping right, eating right, hydrating right, and reducing your stress levels. Okay? Just very, 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 very simple. So Anne-Marie, don't be surprised that you're completing on time. You know, if you look at your fitness levels when you started here and you look at where your fitness levels are now, that's the adaptation that you have worked towards. So that's remarkable. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I love seeing people who think they can't do something come in and achieve it. You know, it's phenomenal to see. But you are also one who have been very diligent, and you never miss. You're always here. So that consistency that I talked about during the week is a kudos to you. So great job. So here's the implementation. And when you see us grouping exercises on the board, we call those supersets. So doing both push and pull moves, you see that on the same day, most days that we do this. And this can be, as you see, a 3 to 4 day split. So we choose to do it Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, when I say off, is more of a recovery day. It's more of an active rest day. That means go out. That means go for a walk, do your mobility work. You're not off per se. You're still getting the body moving. You're still doing your mobility work. And you're getting it really ready to go for Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday. So it's 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 2 days off. Except Saturday, Sunday, you're not off. Saturday, you're doing something that you don't normally do. Maybe you're going for a bike ride. Maybe you're going for a hike up in the hills. Maybe you're, whatever you choose to do, you're still going to implement your mobility work. And then you're going to go out and do, maybe it's yard work. I don't know. But you're not going to just not do anything. You want to do a push move immediately followed by a pull move. Okay, so a bench press followed by a one-arm row, something like that. A tricep push down followed by a bicep curl. A squat followed by a physio ball leg curl, something like that. You're doing a push and then you're doing a pull. A good recommendation is 3 to 6 supersets a day, hitting the multiple muscle groups that we talked about before. And we do a 3 or 4 set of each exercise, given the example. And if you look at our board, The core move, like a bench press, we do 4 sets of. But an auxiliary move, we might do 3 sets of. Okay, and just three to 6 sets of each exercise. And realistically, we like the 8 to 15 repetitions in each set, where you pick that weight that's challenging for you. So what I'm seeing there is I'm watching people pick weights that they're really not getting anything out of. You know, they might be doing a shoulder press with 6 pounds. Probably not getting a whole lot out of that. And as coaches, that's what we're there for. We're there to tell you, hey, you know what? I think you probably could add a little bit to that. Now, is it more effort? Yes. And that's why people don't pick the weight. It's not that their form's not good, because we're not going to ask you to take a heavier weight if your form's not good. Okay. So that's the only caveat there, is take a weight that's challenging, where your last 2 reps are a struggle for the muscle, not for you effort wise. Make sure we're making sure your form is good. And we want to make sure you get to your goal reps, because we know that that's what's going to make you achieve what you're trying to achieve in your goals. So what does it look like? Let's say Monday, upper body push, lower body pull. I don't know. Maybe we're going to do a deadlift and a chest press. Who knows? Tuesday, upper body pull, lower body push, pull-up squats. As you advance, I think, guys, in this type of a routine, you can focus on the rest of the week being, that's where we put in our unilateral work. If you don't really know how to do that, you can incorporate it in that week. Maybe you do a squat in the first quadrant, but then you're going to do some sort of a lunge on a later in a later section. So we try to break them off into sections A, B, C, and D. So maybe in A, you're doing your squats, but in C, you're doing your lunges. Just something like that. If you look at our board, you'll see it's set up like that. And I know I sent the board to some of you. Wednesday's going to be a rest day. Yeah, Shannon, what do you got? What do you got?
You sent the board to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if you look at the board, it's set up exactly that way. It's Emery, I'm gonna address a little bit of your comment. I love that, but I'll just address it in a different way at the end. So Thursday be upper body push, lower body pull. Now there, guys, you can throw in different exercises, and this is where you can also navigate maybe your lighter days toward the end of the week. You don't have to, okay, because you have your rest, but maybe you're going to do your heavier work in the beginning of the week, lighter work at the end of the week. Saturday, Sunday, as I mentioned, are going to be your rest days, but active rest on one of those 2 days. That's where you're going to go out and do it, whatever you want to do. Maybe it's hiking. Hiking incorporates a lot of lunging, a lot of pushing type things. So, you know, it doesn't have to be just with weight training. Please mix up your workouts by adding in or swapping out some other push-pull exercises. You guys have a library that we gave to you during this whole shutdown. Pick exercises out of there. Some alternative examples of push-pulls are overhead pressing, tricep extensions, push-ups, hammer curls instead of regular bicep curls. And each exercise does something different. Attacks the muscle in a different way. So please change it up. Let the muscle get a different variety, a different look. That also means your cardio, folks. Make sure you're changing your cardio up too. I see people come in and do treadmill, treadmill, treadmill. Well, think about it. It's one direction, right? There's not much movement in the body. So we want to get into things, bicycles, rowers, stair climbers, hills, different things like that. Mix it up. And then you can increase your reps, you can increase your weights, you can increase the numbers of sets, and changing the exercises. Just whatever you do, keep pushing and challenging yourself, especially if you're not back here in the gym with us. Probably lastly is I'll just give you an overview of how I think you should approach it. You should always remember to do your warm up, right? So think about the warm up we do here. We do 10 minutes of a cardio, which gets the central nervous system going. It warms the body temperature. It really gets the body ready to work properly before all of your sessions. Do all of your mobility work right after that. And after you finish your mobility work, that's when you get into the push-pull routine, right? You're changing your weights, you're changing your exercises, whatever you're doing. If you notice, our program is always set up for 4 weeks. The reason we set the same program for 4 weeks is it takes that long for the body to adapt to what you're trying to get it to do. Okay? If we change the program up every single day, you would probably not see the results that you would want to achieve by doing that. And you'd probably run into overtraining, and you would probably also run into injuries. So always make sure when you're done to cool down. Cool down. This is where your short-term, and I've talked about short-term recovery, comes in. How many of you take a cold ice bath? Now, it doesn't have to be extremely cold, right? Like a lot of athletes do. But how many of you are doing that to take the inflammation out of the body? Try it. Try it. Watch how well it works. How many of you are doing some soft tissue work as soon as you get done? Foam roll. How many of you are doing more mobility work when you get done? Right? How many of you do mobility work before you go to bed? I do. Every night before I go to bed, I do pigeon pose and side lying rotations. Because as much riding as I'm doing, guys, my mid back gets really tight. So I really got to make sure before I go to bed that I open up that soft tissue line from shoulders to hips. And I do it every single night. It takes me less than 5 minutes. So really in conclusion, well, the other thing too, when you cool down, I did want to touch on DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's when you, let's say you came back on Monday and you started to feel your legs get sore on Wednesday, a little bit on Tuesday stiff, but real sore on Wednesday. That's that delayed onset muscle soreness. The best thing you can do when you feel that, keep moving. Keep hydrating. Think about a rusty pipe and you inducing it with, and now I sound like Trump, liquid plumber, right? So you want to take in as much water as you can to push and flush all that pipe, all that rust out of that pipe, okay? So think of your DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and you want to make sure you're moving and continuing being consistent with your sleep, with your hydration, right? With your stress levels and consistency of your workouts. So doesn't mean you have to drop your current training splits or switch to something else. Just give it a try. The push-pull program will really help you reach your fitness goals, guys. I promise, and it'll help you reach them faster if you do it the way we're asking you to implement. Usually the general goals of fitness is what? I hear it all the time. I want to lose weight and I want to gain muscle, right? We all want to do that. So this particular split that we're giving you, that we offer here, and it does have to be programmed, right? Damn phone. It allows you to do both. It allows you to lose weight and gain muscle. So being able to train bigger muscle groups and train compound exercises more often offers more bang for your buck, guys. So that's my little take on push-pulls. Gabe, I know you're on. Is there anything you want to add to this?
No, I would just say, Vince talked about mobility. Hopefully you guys can hear me. My speaker is iffy.
I can hear it great, dog.
Okay. Vince talked about doing mobility and, soft tissue work. And that's been one of the complaints that we've received since we've reopened, is a lot of people have established routines where they've done that before or after our workouts. And so, it's with the setup being what it is at this time, it's going to be on you. You're going to have to establish and develop a new routine since we're not able to offer that to you at this time. So, we're really sorry about that, but if it's a need for you, you'll find a way to do it. If it's not that important to you, you'll find an excuse as to why you haven't done it. So that's kind of a rough way to say that, but if it's something that you need to do, you'll find a way to do it. We all have to train. We all have to get, we all have stuff that we have to work on. And, if we don't, it's on us to address it. And that's just the bottom line. We have to take accountability and do what we need to do. That's pretty much it. I mean, you said a mouthful. You gave them a nice meat sandwich here, and hopefully people take it to heart and implement what we're talking about.
Thanks, Gabe. And guys, what Gabe's talking about, if it wasn't clear, is you were able to come in beforehand and you were able to do your foam rolling. You were able to stay later and do the same. We really can't offer that right now because we're being asked as soon as the class is done, they have to leave the facility so the other class can come in to keep the numbers down. So that's what Gabe is talking about. And we hope to get back to that. And yeah, you're right, Susan. Several members are walking around the block before and after workouts. That's great. And Anne-Marie, thank you. Anne-Marie has said that it's been an awesome restart. And the coaches are again, kudos to the coaches because they are doing a spectacular job. They're being asked to do a lot with very little. And again, we have a unbelievable coaching staff here. Our family, it's a family. Our coaches are a family with us. And we have probably the best team we've ever had. And then there's another thing I want to talk about. I did talk about hormonal changes in the body, and it's really great. And I love it for women who are experiencing and going through the hard time in life of menopause. And some women are able to offset or take little hormone replacements because of the amount of activity and the stuff that they're doing. It's not a catch-all, guys, and it's really not an area that I have expertise in. But I do know I've heard and talked to a lot of women, and they believe that the workout programs are one of the reasons why they don't have the bigger issues that some other women do have that don't partake in these types of exercises. So really, guys, the other last thing is the mandates aren't just for the number of people, but we have to do, you have seen it, we have to do extra cleaning in the facility. We're being asked to sanitize after each session. You've seen me spraying down the turf. It's just things that we have to do. And I think it's good things. I think it's things that all gym owners should be paying attention to. I still think we can get it done without having to stick within the rigid guidelines, and we'll get there. I think within a month or so, we'll get there, guys. But the biggest thing we don't want to do, we don't want to take one step forward and 3 steps back, right? So again, I will end this by saying our main mission is to supply you with the best workouts and the best environment and the best community that we can at the safest way that we can. So thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for being online with us today. During the week, coaches that are online now, please let people know there's a lot of information coming out on Saturday mornings on the Zoom call, and don't just think that we're at the end of this thing yet. So they should get online. So remind them of the Zoom calls and all of the online sessions. We're still going to run online sessions on Saturdays mornings for people who can't make it here. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. Coaches, thank you so much for doing what you do. Gabe, thank you so much for all the computer work and, just being my dog for 20 years. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we're going to see everybody again next week. We're going to do this again. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Vince.
Hey, you're welcome, guys. Make it a
See
great
you,
weekend. Go out and do
Monday.
something. I'm going to go for a bike ride. Have a good day.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.